Binance delegate a bunch of Uni tokens to its wallet. So now they can participate in governance decisions over at Uniswap, which is the largest DEX in the space. This is potentially interesting. Hayden Adams, the founder of the Uniswap protocol, tweeted this out and said, hey, this is a kind of interesting situation. We don't really know how Binance intends to act here. And yo, CZ, can you share more? I don't think CZ has responded yet, but it's interesting to see these conversations unfold. Binance now becomes the second largest behind A16Z, big old VC with lots of unibags. So the fact that there are big entities at play here on these DAOs is not news. The idea that there's some suggested skepticism about Binance's role, kind of odd, but interesting to talk about DAO governance and some of the tensions therein. I'm going to throw it to Jen for this one, for her thoughts on Uniswap.
Yeah, so I'm going to attempt to break down how this works. So token holders can delegate their tokens to a wallet that can then vote on their behalf. And in this case, Binance delegated to their own wallet, and Uniswap is trying to figure out if there is some ill intent behind it. I know I've said this on the show before, but it really feels like at instances we are replicating the problems that we are trying to solve. The whole point of DAOs and DAO governance is to have a level playing field, right? But then we have these big actors, they're big decision makers, they're either individuals or entities who come in and gain all this voting power. It's really kind of funny to read and troubling that the two largest token holders here, the two largest entities with voting power, are A16Z and Binance. But this is a problem that the DAO ecosystem is tackling on a greater scale. This isn't original to Uniswap. It's happening. I think if you go and you take a look at DAO governance across the board, you'll see that there are a handful of wallets who own the voting power. And if you do a little bit of digging, you will see that they are the people who hold power in the traditional world. So this isn't original. It is a problem that we'll have to solve, and it is a problem that has existed, even before DAOs existed. So that was a lukewarm take, I know. But Wendy, what do you think?
But didn't the problem start from the people that decided to create the DAOs in that manner, to where the people with the largest amount of tokens had the largest amount of voting power? So I don't necessarily know. I don't want to blame Binance. I don't want to blame anybody else who's got a lot of tokens that hold a lot of voting power, because they're just kind of taking advantage of the current system. So I really think that we're going to have to see DAOs step up in the future and change the way that the DAO is run so that it is, in fact, a level playing field.
I'll take the last thought on this one. Hayden Adams had some tweets about it as well that is notable. Hayden Adams, of course, the inventor of the Uniswap protocol, saying that Binance technically doesn't own these tokens, so it's a little dubious, and there's some questions around how they're going to use the tokens that they've put into this platform. Of course, whoever owns the tokens and has put them onto Binance would be the rightful person to delegate. But since Binance controls the wallet itself, they can delegate the tokens how they want. And then Hayden Adams actually reached out to CZ on Twitter. So we'll see if this develops anymore. My mind's eye, this is something that's going to happen more and more. There's a lot of centralized exchanges out there with a lot of tokens on them, and then they're supposed to interact with these DeFi wallets and these DeFi applications that often have DAOs incorporated with them. I think you're going to see a mixture of CDFI, which is centralized decentralized finance, fun little word there, and then decentralized finance interacting together more and more, because these two networks, as much as we'd like to say they're different, we like to say centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges are different. There's a lot of crossover, so we'll see more and more of this.